All right, music fans, welcome back. It is yours truly, Dave, the Real Music Observer, observing real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. All right, going back in time, the year I was born, this particular band got its start. So I'm going totally old school, geezer. Yes, I was born in the 60s, ladies and gentlemen. I am... It's just the way things are. There's not much I can do about it. The numbers just keep adding up, and I just keep saying to myself, okay, it's just a number, as the old cliche goes. Whatever happened to the band The Rascals? My station wagon existence was dominated by The Rascals. As a newborn, riding around to The Rascals, and then as a toddler, and then probably somewhere around 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, the Rascals began to fade away. But they were still on the radio, and they were on the radio a lot. 4 number 1 hits, 10 top 20 singles, 6 top 20 albums, 1 Grammy nomination, 4 Hall of Fame inductions, and that's in 1997. Grammy nomination 2009, Best Pop Instrumental. Okay, and then we're talking about Felix Cavaliere, who pretty much continues to this day to create music and to perform live. Some people think he's the king of blue-eyed soul. I've heard that said about Felix, but let's continue. Songwriters Hall of Fame, and we're talking specifically about Felix Cavaliere. Hit Parade Hall of Fame. Hammond Organ Hall of Fame, 2014 inductee. Here are the chart singles: Good Lovin', Groovin', People Gotta Be Free, Beautiful Morning, just a great song. How Can I Be Sure, A Girl Like You, and my favorite all-time Rascals tune is I've Been Lonely Too Long. You Better Run, which was covered by Pat Benatar years later. It's Wonderful, A Ray of Hope, Carry Me Back, See, Only a Lonely Heart Sees, Heaven, Come On Up, Hold On, Glory, Glory, and then Love Me. Now recently, a Rascals compilation, both A and B side singles, was released both on vinyl and CD. How cool is that? 47 songs. Felix Cavaliere was a producer as well. The Young Rascals collection, by the way, they were known as the Young Rascals when they started, and then the name just sort of evolved into the Rascals. But producing the Young Rascals, then the collections, then Once Upon a Dream, Groovin', Freedom Suite, See, Search, and Nearness, these were all Rascals titles. Peaceful World, The Island of Real, the original Tap Dancing Kid by Jimmy Ferris, and it just goes on. Felix has this knack for great production. A few years back, he worked with Steve Cropper. There's a guitar player for you. Steve Cropper. I mean, man, he just invented his own style. The guy's amazing. This just goes on and on. He did television production, American Bandstand, The Soupy Sales Show. Wow. That's really just going back. The Ed Sullivan Show he worked for. Mike Douglas, The Dating Game. He worked on the Monkees TV series. The Joey Bishop Show. Bing Crosby Specials. The Tonight Show. This Is Tom Jones, probably a TV special. The Andy Williams Show. And Regis. Some good old Regis and, who was it, Kathy Lee? And then it was somebody else. I haven't watched that in a long time, so I forget. Somebody replaced Kathy Lee. It's Regis and Kelly, right? All right. Took a while. The brain, I'm an old geezer. And then it goes on to talk about a 50-year career of Felix Cavaliere. He continues to tour, and he's a classically trained pianist born in Pelham, New York. He idolized Ray Charles, Marvin Gaye, and Sam Cooke. For all you Steve Perry fans that watch me, Sam Cooke had quite the impact. He embraced the Hammond organ and pioneered a fresh, rock and roll sound. I would call it rock and B, R&B. It's just, these guys were just, not only were they hit machines, but they were just so easy to listen to. Just great stuff. And it just talks about the career of Felix Cavaliere, because this is really off of his website. You can't forget about Eddie Brigatti and Gene Cornish, also members of the Rascals. The Rascals, the mega hit Good Lovin', struck #1 in February of 1966 and remained a classic even on the dance floor when yours truly was spinning records for a living at clubs in the late 1980s and early 90s. You couldn't go there without Good Lovin'. It was like a jumpstart song. If you're having a bad night, you throw Good Lovin' on. It's only like 2 minutes and change, so somebody should have remixed it, but thank God they didn't. Let's just put it that way. In the 70s, the Rascals went a little bit more jazz. They moved over to Columbia Records, and then they disbanded in 1972. Just crazy. Felix had a solo career and continues to this day. He released his self-titled debut with Todd Rundgren as producer. I might have to go listen to that. His follow-up albums were Destiny, Castles in the Air, okay, and produced another top 40 hit, Only a Heart Sees. It reached #2. Also albums Dreams in Motion in 94, 2008. He collaborated with Stax guitar legend Steve Cropper on the Grammy-nominated Nudge It Up a Notch, and again in 2010 with Midnight Flyer. Look, you don't get much more real than the Rascals. Plus, they were really into the civil rights movement in a way that was positive and really not, like People Gotta Be Free. That's a tune about that. It's not obnoxious. It's not preachy. It's just there. And in the late 60s, that was the type of music that was happening. But the Rascals were themselves. They weren't stepping out to do something like too crazy or too political. It was just a really good statement that stands the test of time even today. So that's what happened to the Rascals. Felix Cavaliere still around, still touring, does a great live show. If you watch on YouTube, you'll find he does these great medleys, like on Groovin'. He'll add a bunch of Motown songs in the middle and then play it through. It's just, the guy's a genius. He's been forgotten about, and he was part of one of America's great answers to the British invasion, a band that could have been Motown. They could have been a lot of different things. They had the soul, they had the rock, they had the pop, and man, could they write great songs. All right, I'm done with this video. Felix Cavaliere and the Rascals, go check them out if you can. They're not just for geezers, folks. They're for people that love great music, all right? Talk to you later. See you then.